Hey guys, welcome to the Bold Hairspring. As always, I'm Ivan and I've got another watch review for you today. This is probably the most anticipated release for 2022. There's been quite a bit of hype around these, and now that I've got them in the studio, I must say that I'm very impressed. So this is the all-new Seiko 5 Sport GMT model. I've got all three of them here with me, and let me tell you, they all look stunning in person. This video wouldn't have been possible without the support of my AD relojeriaesparza.com, who are based in Valencia, Spain. Contact them via the links in the description below and they will offer you a deal on any watch they have in stock. Speaking of deals, this is my latest purchase from them, the Marine Master SSK003K1. It's an incredible piece that I added to my collection 2 days ago, and after I wear it for a while, be sure that I'll give it the full review treatment. You know how it goes, guys. We'll start with the dimensions and then we'll discuss the design, the build quality, lume, bezel, movement, price, value and all that stuff. So, the dimensions haven't really changed much in comparison to the non-GMT Seiko 5 Sport models. The case diameter is still 42.5mm, the lug-to-lug is 46, while the thickness has increased with 0.2, so it's 13.6mm now. Finally, the lug width is 22mm, and the total weight on this Jubilee bracelet is 165 grams. In reality, what these dimensions mean is that this is one very wearable piece that will look good on pretty much any wrist. For you to get a better idea, here it is on my 17 centimeters or 6.7 inch wrist. I haven't sized any of these, but they should wear just like any SKX or 5KX model. And this is great because those are very comfortable. What I can tell you for sure is that all three color variants look absolutely gorgeous. These shiny hardlex bezel inserts are very cool. In my opinion, they make the watches look a bit more premium and they simply add to the overall wrist presence. I don't think I should spend much time talking about the design because it's very obvious. It's the same when compared to the non-GMT Seiko 5 Sport models, and those follow the design language of the SKX, which was first released in 1996. The only novelty here is the bezel insert, which, as I just mentioned, is made of hardlex mineral crystal instead of aluminum. Other than that, everything remains the same, including the build quality and the finishing. My impression, guys, is that this is a very well built watch. It feels solid in the hand, the high polishing is very nice as well. Then, just like with the 5KX models, you get 100 meters of water resistance, which should be plenty good for swimming. Finally, the bracelet is kind of cool. I mean, it has that vintage Jubilee charm and flexibility. All the links, including the end links, are solid, and the overall feel and quality is decent. Typically, when I buy a Seiko, I would replace the bracelet with one from Strapcode, but with these models, I don't find it necessary at all. I would probably change the clasp because it's not milled, but when it comes to the bracelet itself, I actually like it. Moving on, guys, let's have a closer look at the dial. As you can imagine, it sits behind the hardlex mineral crystal. Sapphire would have been ideal, but you know how Seiko is. To be fair, the crystal looks good. It's very clear and it has a very nice bevel which plays nicely with the lights. The references SSK001 and 003 share exactly the same black matte dial, and even at closer inspection, everything looks nice and sharp. With all three models, you get applied indices and an applied Seiko branding at 12. Then the handset is the same as the one that is found on the SKX and all other 5KX models, which consists of a syringe hour hand, a broad arrow minute hand, as well as a lollipop seconds hand. They're all high polished, just like the hour markers, and then there is the GMT hand, which is red in the black dial models, while in the orange dial SSK005, it's black. Speaking of the orange model, guys, it's the one that I like the most. The orange color is very cool, very vivid, and very Seiko in my opinion. It just works very well with the gold handset, the black indices, and the black markings on the 24 hours rehold. It's also the only one out of the three that features a sunburst dial, and for all these reasons it perfectly fits in my collection. However, the other two look just as beautiful, and whichever color you go for, I'm sure you won't regret it. Now let's check out the 24-hour GMT bezel, guys. To my surprise, it doesn't click, it just slides in both directions, so you won't have any misalignment issues. Yay! The action itself is good, it's very smooth, and there is plenty of resistance to ensure that it stays in place. It kind of reminds me of the Seiko Prospex LX GMT, which costs nearly 6,000 euro. Once again, the bezel insert of these is made of hardlex mineral crystal, and that's why it looks so nice and shiny. Next, let's have a look at the Lume. It's Seiko's proprietary Lume Bright, and it's fantastic. The initial glow is very bright, then it fades out a bit, but it stays very visible for hours. It has a very pleasant green color, and it seems to be very evenly applied on both the hands and the markers. Guys, before we continue with the review, I would like to show you what my next video is going to be about. The all-new limited edition Prospex Night Vision Black series has just landed in the studio, and all I'm going to say at this point is that they really deserve some attention and consideration. Keep an eye on the channel, as in the next few days I'll show you all three models: the Samurai, the Turtle and the Solar. Alright, back to the GMTs. The only part we haven't talked about yet is the movement. These new models feature the caliber 4R34, which is based on the well-known 4R35, also known as the NH35. It's a 3 Hz movement with 24 joules and 41 hours of power reserve. It hacks, it hand winds, and Seiko claims that it should be accurate to -35 to +45 seconds per day. I know, these numbers don't sound very convincing, but I'm sure in reality this movement will perform just as good as any NH35, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Finally, the operation of the movement is very simple and very easy thanks to the large push-pull crown. It basically works as any ETA GMT movement, meaning that with the first pull you set the dates and the GMT hand, while with the second pull you hack the movement and set the actual time. It's a fairly simple movement, guys, but I expect it to be reliable and cheap to service. Last but not least, I just want to briefly mention the price of these. All three models retail for 470 euro, and to me that doesn't sound terribly unfair. I mean, you get a well-built and well-finished GMT automatic watch with an in-house movement that between the reholds and the bezel allow you to track up to 3 time zones. But most importantly, these just look awesome. In my opinion, it's one of the best Seiko releases in the last couple of years. But hey, feel free to share your opinion. On top of that, I'm sure you'll be able to get a good discount on these as soon as they become widely available. The bottom line is, I love the new Seiko 5 GMTs, I'm super impressed with them and I want one. The orange model must be super fun to wear, and if I hadn't just bought my SOA023, I would have seriously considered getting it. How about you, everyone? What's your take on these? You can let me know whether you like them or not in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, guys, I'll see you in the next one.